Hey, welcome to another episode of Simone Vincenzi Talks Business, and today I'm going to talk about setting boundaries. I was having a session with a client this morning, and that conversation inspired this new episode. Now, if you have not been here before, this is my solo show where I talk about the plus, the minus, the left and the right, and all the things that are happening while we are running our companies here in GTeX. So as I was mentioning, I was having a session with a client this morning, and we ended up talking about the topic of boundaries. Because you might find that there are situations, whether it's in your personal life or whether it's in your business, that either you're giving too much or other people are taking too much from you. And then you ended up resenting some of the work that you are doing, or you end up resenting some of the relationships that you had in your life. And that made me think of some of the decisions that I've made in my early years. Now, I was really rubbish at setting boundaries. When my parents divorced, I was the one that wanted to please everyone in the middle. I wanted to please my mom. I wanted to please my dad. I wanted to make sure I could fix that situation. And in doing so, I had no boundaries. Literally, everyone could just get me to do whatever they wanted, and I would wanted to do it because I wanted to solve that situation. Now, that led me to resent my family so much that actually I changed country. Now, you might find that that was a bit extreme, but if you're not setting up healthy boundaries, you will feel resentful about everything you're doing. That's why it's important to set up healthy boundaries in your families and your relationships. Know what's right for you and know what's not right for you. Know what you can accept that a partner does to you and what is non-negotiable. Because if you don't set those boundaries, if you don't put that stop, guess what? The other person will never know when it's too much or too little. And is a part of growing in a relationship. Now, if it's with your family, some people might never understand it, and some people might never actually get the fact that they have to respect your boundaries. That's why you need to have even more firm boundaries in order for them to be successful. Now, let's put it about business. What boundaries are you putting with your team members? Can they reach out to you at any time? Do you have certain times or certain ways in which you want things to be done with you or to be communicated? Again, these are your boundaries, and it's your responsibility to communicate those boundaries to everyone else. Who else do we have? Then the other things that we are talking about in terms of boundaries is boundaries when you are running courses or when you are facilitating or where you are delivering a training material. Now, we run a lot of events, we run live trainings, online training, and there is always some people that will take more time than others. There will always some people that will talk more than others. There will be always some people that they will think more about themselves than actually the entire dynamic, and making sure that everyone has what they came on that call or particular training for. So it's up to you to identify who those people are and making sure that you set boundaries that are going to make sure that the environment works, that people can work together. So practically, if you know that there are some people that will talk more than others, having a timer with you, making sure that you have a fixed time where someone has to stop talking, then it means that if they are the kind of people that actually they talk too much, that's going against them, because they will need to be more succinct in order to get the most and to get value from that particular session. Or if you know, for example, there are people that will take more time, or they will talk too much, or they will dominate the conversation, maybe next time I'm getting them to go last instead of getting them to go first. I don't know, sometimes that's some strategy that I use. Another strategy I use when I facilitate in order to set boundaries between participants is actually to spot and notice when someone is waffling about too much, which I know that can affect the entire rest of the training. Then I will ask, so what's your question? So I will literally interrupt them in the middle of the waffling, and it doesn't take me long for that, but say, so what's your question? What do you need help with? Because you know that if you allow certain behaviors or certain attitudes to become the norm, then you have lost now control of your own boundaries, you have lost control of the entire room, and now you're leaving power to every single participant to dominate your room. And what happens is that the people that don't have that kind of character, they will be resentful about attending the training because they didn't have their chance. But that's your mistake as a facilitator. So these are some of the things that you can do on a practical level when you're running training, when you're running events, whether it's a training online or offline, to make sure that everyone has a positive experience, that people can be there for each other and not just having someone dominating entirely their conversation. So that was my sharing for you today from a session that we had with a client. I'm sure that many people needed to hear this message. I definitely needed to hear it, and it's a consistent reminder about myself and my life. Where am I setting boundaries? Are the boundaries that I have set so far, are they still serving me, or do I need to change something? So it's a conversation that we can have around this topic. So thank you very much for watching or listening. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure you jump on your favorite podcasting platform and subscribe to Simone Vincenzi Talks Business. Or if you come live on my page, on my profile, then you're going to see the live videos. And until next time, until tomorrow for another episode, have a fantastic day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao!